Tom, you gotta tell me. January 31st. Cool, gonna beat your bitch ass. Yeah, put that in there.
I don't know. And he's like I said, your boxing get better by the hour, okay? Soon, you'll be undefeated.
It ain't tight. The shit ain't tight. You can't get it tight. You putting a glove on. That shit ain't tight. You should be getting your hands wrapped by a master professional hand wrapper every single day, bruh. You getting paid gravy. You getting paid gravy, dude. If you can't fly a dude out that's great with the damn hand wraps, man, that's what you need. If you got hand problems, bruh, and you need to keep your hands healthy, you need to hire somebody, man. All that damn money you making, bruh, somebody. Tape it on some old ass wraps. What's going on? Come on. What we in elementary school? Come on, dog. Them hands need to be wrapped. You can't mess around and go into this fight with Teo. You can't. Every damn way, Shakur, I'm telling you. He gonna box your ass a little bit. He gonna pressure you. He gonna change speeds on your ass. I'm telling you, man. This dude is coming for your ass. You better be ready. But you don't need to be doing all that extra shit if it's gonna weaken you. If you ain't gonna be at your full potential, man. For real. You don't need to be doing all this extra shit. And get a hair wrap, dude.
When a Hall of Famer looks straight at Shakur Stevenson and says, "What the hell are you doing?" you know something is seriously wrong. With the fight looming, Shakur Stevenson has thrown himself into an intense training camp packed with new techniques and sharp adjustments. He's pushing beyond his limits, making sure this time he comes at Teofimo Lopez very differently. From fine-tuning his skills to adding a new level of explosive power, Shakur is locked in and fully focused. The energy inside the camp is higher than ever, and this version of Stevenson is clearly built for war.
Yeah, pop up, push through. 3, press. 1, 2, 3, back flat. 4, rotate, press. Yes, sir. Left 3.
You know what's that? Look at my neck, I got a cat.
From intense training sessions with elite professional boxers, Shakur Stevenson is charging toward the storm ahead of Teofimo Lopez. He's fine-tuning his skills, while his punching speed and athleticism are accelerating to another level. Under the guidance of his trainer and alongside top-level sparring partners, Shakur knows exactly what awaits him, yet he remains fully committed to delivering a standout performance, pushing his training harder every single day.
Cool. I'll have to drop the heavy up a little.
And with that, the Shakur camp is brimming with confidence, believing the champion is fully capable of knocking out Teofimo Lopez with ease. Inside the camp, questions are being raised about the legitimacy of Teofimo's resume, with critics calling him out for facing cautious fighters instead of true threats. The belief is strong that Shakur will outclass Teofimo and do it convincingly. The stakes have never been higher, the warnings have been sent, and bold claims are now being made that Teofimo is feeling the pressure. Some even say it's not just Teofimo Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are also wary of the power, precision, and skill Shakur brings into the ring.
Tom, you gotta tell me. January 31st. Cool, gonna bitch ass. Yeah, put that in there.
Shadow boxing, get some sparring. Maybe about 8 to 10 rounds. And
Everybody talking about Tio gonna win. Y'all all know that he gonna lose, bro. Shakur actually fight accurate people, like not bums. Like he fought Oscar Valdez. Tank pulled out the fight because he's scared. Ryan Garcia's scared. Like they all scared. Even Devin Haney. Shakur gonna stop him. This easy. That's so easy. Y'all already know the question. Shakur on top.
But that confidence isn't something Tim Bradley fully buys into. He believes Shakur may be riding the line between confidence and overconfidence. According to Bradley, whenever Shakur talks about having a different training camp, it hasn't translated into better performances, and even working alongside Terrence Crawford hasn't produced the expected results. Bradley feels Shakur often underdelivers when the hype around his preparation is highest, and he questions whether this training camp is truly at the level it needs to be.
Hey, Shakur. Hey, I hope you doing what makes you tick. I hope you ain't doing all no extra shit. You don't need all that extra shit. You better be doing what make you tick. I remember when you went to one of Crawford's camp and you did one of his trainings and you know, a full camp and stuff, man, and one of his training programs and shit, man, got in the fight, and you look like shit, man. You look like hell. That was that Nakathila fight, man. You were like, man, I done stuff I ain't never done before. All this stuff, man. You don't need all of that shit, man. You need to do what make you tick, man. I know this fight is big. I know you can add a little bit of something, but man, if you overworking yourself, man, and you ain't gonna be rested, man, and you ain't resting your hand.
Tim Bradley raises the alarm, insisting that Shakur Stevenson is not training the right way. He questions the condition of Shakur's hands and even the way they're being wrapped, arguing that those methods won't help him on fight night. Bradley urges Shakur to take things more seriously, going as far as mocking the setup of the camp. He suggests Shakur needs a truly professional trainer in his corner, joking that the training looks more like something out of elementary school than a championship camp.
That's how you messing up your damn hands. You messing up your hands because it ain't tight. The shit ain't tight. You can't get it tight. You putting a glove on. That's tight. You should be getting your hands wrapped by a master professional hand wrapper every single day, bruh. You getting paid gravy. You getting paid gravy, dude. If you can't fly a dude out, that's great with the damn hand wraps, man. That's what you need. If you got hand problems, bruh, and you need to keep your hands healthy, you need to hire somebody, man. All that damn money you making, bruh, hire somebody. Tape it on some old wraps. What's going on? Come on. What we in elementary school?
Bradley advises Shakur Stevenson to prioritize the health of his hands heading into fight night, reminding him that the only way to beat Teofimo Lopez is by outboxing him. He points out that Teofimo is a fighter who always backs up his words, regardless of the controversial comments he's made outside the ring. While Bradley acknowledges that fans are riding with Shakur, he stresses that popularity won't win this fight. According to him, the way Shakur is training right now won't be enough against an opponent who shows up and delivers.
That's not gonna be a damn excuse. Hell no. This is a dude, man, Teofimo Lopez, bro. He been going at us. Yeah. And when I say at us, yeah, straight to our face, saying monkeys and bananas and all this racist stuff, bruh. This your chance to shut his ass up, bruh. Yeah, that's what it is. It's your chance. So everybody ride with you, man. Shit, but this ain't gonna be no easy task. This dude here coming to bag up every single word he said. Every word he said. And you get in there and you play, and your hands ain't right, bruh, and you ain't in there being a little bit of Pookie with a little bit of Shakur, boy, you gonna have to bring everything out against this dude, Teofimo Lopez, cause he coming for your ass in every single way.
And with that aggressive rant on Shakur's preparation, the stakes have only intensified. Ben Whitaker breaks down the fight, noting that Teofimo Lopez tends to perform even better when doubted, fueled by his explosive mindset. But at the same time, he picks Shakur Stevenson to get the edge, highlighting the champion's experience, skill, and precision, the very qualities that could pay off in the ring and secure him the victory.
I'm gonna go with my boy Shakur. I just think we'll just keep the distance, keep it clean, fight when he needs to, box when he needs to. But I do like Lopez. He's very athletic, he knows how to box, and I think when there's an occasion like this, he does rise to it. But I just think Shakur's been around the world as an amateur as well as a pro. I think he's more of a seasoned fighter.
Meanwhile, boxing insiders are sending a warning to Teofimo Lopez. Stepping into the ring with Shakur Stevenson could leave his weaknesses completely exposed. Analyst Greg Hackett recently broke down the matchup, acknowledging Teofimo's raw talent but making it clear he isn't at Shakur's level. Hackett points to Stevenson's disciplined preparation, technical precision, and ability to control the pace of a fight as the keys that could highlight Teofimo's flaws. With superior fundamentals and a smarter game plan, Stevenson appears fully equipped to take the win.
You see them go back and forth. They trading their little bullshit.
Right.
Is this a fight that you go back and forth with? Like, is this the fight that you could possibly change your mind from week to week and in camp, looking at how they look in camp and whatnot? Like, what's your mindset heading into such a big fight?
Yeah, my mind does go back and forth. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Teo, what I do is I remove all the negative about what we know about Teo. I remove all of that, and then I look at the fighter. That still is a good fighter. You know what I mean? Strong, fast, you know what I mean? Explosive, unpredictable, and he can hurt you. And every time he's had to step up, he really did step up. You know what I mean? But besides the Cambo fight, but he stepped up. So I think Shakur. Yeah, my first mind tells me Shakur, and I thought about it. Yeah, I'm picking Shakur by decision, but because this is fighting, anything can happen. You can't count Teo out. So there is thoughts sometimes that cross my brain, like, damn, what if Teo catch him like real good though? You know what I mean? And hurt him, or what if he just out hustling? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of shit that crossed my mind, but I still like Shakur for the dub. I like Shakur for the dub because he knows how to win. Like, he knows how to win.
Greg Hackett, known as one of boxing's sharpest analysts, delivered a blunt take on a potential showdown between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. He warns that if Teofimo recklessly presses forward and makes a mistake, Stevenson's elite defense could punish him severely. Hackett explains that Teofimo's aggressive style might actually play right into Shakur's hands, giving him openings for precise counterpunching and full control of the fight.
You know what I'm saying? So, in a sense where Teo like to jump, you gotta stop that jumping. You know what I mean? Take smaller steps, inch in behind smaller jabs, smaller right hands. Be a little bit more quicker. And you know, try to keep it at a minimum of like 4 punches. You know what I mean? 4, 5, 6 punches. You know what I mean? Not just one good punch. Cause once you miss, you know, Shakur gonna light you the up. He gonna light you the after that. You miss one good shot. You throw one good shot, he catch you loading, and he see it, and he get away from it, and he gonna touch you like 3-4 times after that. You know what I mean? So you gotta match Shakur energy with the punch output, but at the same time, you gotta be vicious that night. They give out warnings for a reason. Use them.
On the other hand, Teofimo Lopez is targeting more than just Shakur Stevenson's physical game. He's focused on the mental side of the fight. While acknowledging Stevenson's defense is nearly flawless, Lopez believes breaking through his mindset could be the key to victory. This approach highlights the psychological dimension of boxing, where handling pressure and staying composed can be just as decisive as skill and speed in the ring.
You just said, though, you said that you ready to pull an upset. So you acknowledging that Shakur is the better fighter?
Never.
No.
You just said that. You said the upset.
Well, no, he said the odds are probably has him ahead.
No, yeah, it's just the odds. They got him as the favorite.
Oh,
right
got you.
Yeah, the odds I think is like 3-1 right now.
Okay.
So that's all.
Right.
So I'm kind of used to being in that position. So I'm just here to reclaim them and redefend them.
So with that upset, like, what do you plan to like exploit about Shakur in the ring?
That is, defense is not as impeccable as people mention it.
Nah, it's impeccable. It's pretty elite. Come on, Teofimo. It's pretty elite.
No.
Lopez's strategy shows a high level of fight IQ, emphasizing that elite matchups often hinge on mental strength as much as physical ability. By preparing to exploit Stevenson's mind, Lopez is signaling that this battle will be as much about thinking and timing as landing punches. In contests between top-tier fighters, the one who manages stress, pressure, and psychological warfare often gains the upper hand.
Well, that's what I say. Like,
what is his weakness, though, if there's one?
His mind. Once you penetrate the mind, that's it. It's game. This is boxing. This has always been since forever. And if your mind ain't strong in this, it's never gonna accomplish anything in life.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn weighed in on the fight and issued a warning for Teofimo Lopez. He believes Shakur Stevenson is a pound-for-pound elite, and having trained alongside Terrence Crawford, Stevenson has polished himself into a top-tier fighter. Hearn highlights Shakur's fight IQ and technical mastery, which give him a clear edge over Lopez. In his view, when they collide in the ring on January 31st, Stevenson could completely outclass Teofimo. He asserts that Shakur has evolved into a true elite fighter who will pose serious challenges with every skill in his arsenal.
I think I don't know how good the fight will be, but I think Shakur is, again, like pound for pound, IQ-wise, I think he's even up there with a Terrence and those kind of guys, you know. I think the difference with Boots is he's got the defensive mastercraft, and he also has the aggressive power to turn your lights out, and I think that's quite different. Do you know what I mean? Like Shakur, I say defensive. I think that's a bit harsh on Shakur, but he's not a huge puncher, but defensively and skill-wise, he's right up there.
He's a real technical fighter.
Oh, phenomenal.
Absolutely.
The difference with Boots is skill-wise, he's got that. But he can also, like I said, he can turn your lights out.
At the same time, Eddie Hearn points out that Teofimo Lopez has shown great motivation whenever he steps up to a challenge instead of backing down. He acknowledges that Lopez is an excellent fighter, but in terms of skill, Hearn believes he isn't on the same level as Shakur Stevenson. He adds that a lot will depend on how Teofimo shows up and how he starts the fight, but one thing is clear: Stevenson holds the edge heading into fight night.
And you'll see that more and more as he goes up the division. So, like, you look at fighters like Pernell Whitaker and stuff like that, what they lacked was that little bit of power and that aggressiveness that I think Boots has. I think the jury's still out a little bit on Teofimo. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, you have to respect him because he beat Loma, you know, but I don't know.
He's an excellent fighter.
He's an excellent fighter. Yeah, he's an excellent fighter, but
he didn't cut the ring off from Barboza?
You know, a lot of people give Shakur the edge in that fight. But do you think it depends on what Teofimo shows up?
Yeah, it always depends on what Teofimo shows up.
Buddy McGirt shared his prediction for the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight, stating that Stevenson is the best among all the fighters in the division, while he respects Lopez and notes that he's capable of beating top-level opponents like Lomachenko. McGirt believes Shakur is on another level. He predicts that Stevenson will control the fight from start to finish, dominating throughout all 12 rounds in this mega fight.
Oh, Shakur, definitely.
Why is that?
He's the best at that weight. No one's going to beat him at that weight. You know, he can go up to 47 and win a title. That's how good he is.
I mean,
it's going to be a good fight. I'm glad it's finally happening. You know, a good fight in boxing where you got two very skilled fighters. And look, I love Teofimo. You know, I picked him to beat Lomachenko. You know what I mean? But I just think that Shakur's on another level.
Is Teofimo the more athletic fighter?
I'm not going to say that. I mean, to me, they have two different styles. You know what I mean? And, you know, Shakur just has a style that, you know, to appreciate it, you got to be a real boxing person.
Yeah, because, you know, when I say athleticism, it's like explosiveness and twitch, but isn't Shakur with the timing and the distance, it's more subtle.
Relax, you know what I mean? He can do whatever, he can take control at any time when he wants to.
Buddy McGirt believes Teofimo Lopez will need to be twice as smart as he thinks to beat Shakur Stevenson. He also reveals that he's known Stevenson since his amateur days and understands just how special his skills are, which he believes will surpass Lopez's athleticism. In McGirt's view, the fight could go the full 12 rounds or end early, but no matter what happens, he's confident that Stevenson will come out on top.
I saw him as a kid. I remember Shakur as a kid when he was an amateur. And I was telling kids, he's just special, man. He's special.
What's Teo, if he can pull it, like if you were his trainer, what would be the game plan, you think, to try to pull off what would be an upset?
You gotta be double smart. You can't go in there and think you're gonna bully him. You can't think you're gonna go in there and palm him out. You gotta be extra smart. Because Shakur's on point, man. You gotta be just as on point as he is. And that takes a different level of concentration.
unanimous decision then for Shakur?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I see him winning. I see Shakur winning, definitely.
While Tim Bradley raised concerns about Shakur, another insider who's seen Teofimo Lopez in action offers a different perspective. Keith Conlon, who has watched Lopez spar, shares key insights that could give Stevenson the edge. He predicts the fight will be competitive, with both fighters pushing hard in the ring, but believes that by the later rounds, Stevenson's discipline and skill will allow him to secure the victory.
You know, I feel like now, I've been in the ring when I was like 16. You know, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure he's a total different fighter, but I have recently seen Teofimo spar, you know, like a couple years back. He sparred one of the guys from my gym. And, you know, I think it's safe to say that it's going to be a competitive fight. You know, like, it's definitely going to be a competitive fight. Shakur going to be on his game. Teo going to be on his game. Shakur going to get his hits off. Teo going to get his hits off. I feel like in the later rounds, I feel like Shakur is going to be, he's going to pull away with the victory.
In his view, having seen Teofimo Lopez spar, he's noticed that Lopez often lacks discipline and focus. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson stays locked in for all 12 rounds, demonstrating elite-level discipline. That consistency, he believes, will be the deciding factor in the fight, and he's confident that Stevenson will come out victorious.
Just based off being disciplined. You know, at this level, you know, they both skill for skill. They both got skills. You can't take that away from them. But at this level, it's all about, you know, the small details. Who's disciplined, who's able to focus throughout the whole, you know, fight. And just based off of like they past fights, you kind of see Teo sometimes like discipline, but Shakur, you know, he could stay locked in for the 12 rounds. You know, he could stick to his game plan for the 12 rounds, and I feel like that's what's going to separate the winner from the loser, and I feel like Shakur gonna be victorious.
After Tim Bradley raised the alarm about Shakur Stevenson's preparation, another analyst, Akoyi, added his perspective on the showdown with Teofimo Lopez. He warns that this fight is more than a clash of styles. Simply boxing smart won't be enough. In a brutally honest breakdown, Akoyi explains that Stevenson must impose his will and truly hurt the explosive Lopez to secure a decisive victory, avoiding the risky politics of a close decision.
You know, depending on who dominates their portion of the fight, that's how that fight will go. I don't think it's going to end in a knockout. I think it's going to go 12 rounds for sure. But it depends on how the first 6 rounds goes, you know what I mean? Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner.
Building on Tim Bradley's warning, AQIE believes Shakur Stevenson needs to be extremely aggressive from the opening rounds. He points out that if Teofimo Lopez doesn't succeed early, he could start gassing by the middle rounds, making it much easier for Shakur to take control. AQIE also emphasizes that Stevenson needs to perform at an extraordinary level, better than in any of his previous fights, acknowledging that while he has beaten everyone in the ring so far, this one is serious and requires his very best.
If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where, he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight, you know what I mean, where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with.
So, here we are. This fight is shaping up to be one of the most intense matchups of the year, and with Shakur Stevenson pushing his limits and Teofimo Lopez bringing that explosive fire, January 31st is going to be unforgettable. Who do you think will come out on top? Will Stevenson's discipline and skill prevail? Or can Lopez turn the tables with his raw power? Drop your predictions in the comments, smash that like button if you're hyped, and don't forget to subscribe for every update leading up to Fight Night.